Hi guys, welcome to Thewitchesvoice. I'm your Friday host, Soul1980, and this week's topic is mixed pantheons. Now, when it comes to mixed pantheons, I normally work with a couple different pantheons. Not necessarily the full pantheon, just the certain particular gods from that pantheon. I, when I normally work with a god, I don't care what pantheon they're from, as long as I connect with them and I see some sort of similarity in my life towards them, and I can just basically relate to them. So I work normally. I'm obviously close to Freya. You guys should know this by now, that I'm very close to Freya and Freyr. Uh, they were my first god and goddesses. They're the ones that I work with the most. That I have the strongest connection to. I also work with Bass, Saint Lazarus, which in Afro-Caribbean traditions he's known as Asajuan, and he's more of a deity than he is a saint. And then you have Ochun, which is another Afro-Caribbean goddess that I love to death. So I have them, and I also work a little bit with Hecate. Every once in a while, I'll work with her, and it depends on the situation and what's going on in my life. Oh, and I've never worked with him, but I definitely like him, and I want to one day maybe start working with him, but not at the moment. I'm not. I've got other things that I'm working with, but Pan, I really like Pan, but I haven't. I've never gotten around to actually working with him just yet. But as you can see, I range from different pantheons and whatnot. Um, but for me, if like a lot, very similar to what Anthony Wickegem was saying, that if you are working with certain gods, you that make sure that they mix well, because if they don't, you can actually insult them or get them a little bit upset. Hence, when he said that his boyfriend put a Poseidon statue or little toy next to Medusa, you shouldn't. No, no. Um, But other than that, I mean, as long as you know the mythology and you know what the god likes, that particular deity, I think it's perfectly fine for somebody to work with different pantheons. Um, because for me, I believe that there is a one god, a god, like a being of all knowing and all stuff, and we as humans use you could almost say like avatars to connect with that god, because it doesn't really have a form or a figure or anything. So we use gods and goddesses, which are the avatars of that god, to connect with them, and they become their own consciousness, because we give them that conscious. We create them. That's why if you talk to somebody who works with a particular god or goddess, and both of them have different ways of treating that god or goddess, but they still have a connection to them. That's because we give them our own form of consciousness, which is really cool. Um, but yeah. That's my thing. Those are the gods that I work with that are mixed, and that's just my opinion on mixed deities. It's really up to you, really up to the person, and whatever floats your boat, whatever makes you happy. But obviously, be respectful of the mythology. Don't want to mix two or three or four gods that do not mix with other gods. Um, Especially what I mean by not mixing is don't put them in the same like altar. Put one in another part of the house and the other one in another part of the house or something, or another part of your room. Um, so yeah, but um, but yeah, that's my opinion. I'll see you guys around, and many blessings. I hope that this was informative, and watch the other people's videos. They're actually pretty good too. See you guys around.